You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Every Thursday night,
E.Ali,
Facebook Live,
the weekly news,
TikTok,
no cap,
YouTube. You got your boy E.Ali and the
local
ToLe'Do.
news, regional, and the shit that might go viral. You know I'ma got you.
E.Ali and
You
the
know I got you.
ToLe'Do.
What it do, Toledo? What's poppin'? It's your boy E.Ali in the Toledo with another special segment of Thinking Out Loud. Remember, y'all, this is just, it's 8 billion people on 8 billion plus people on the planet, right? So this is just my opinion. This is just me, little old me giving my opinion, thinking out loud, some form of therapy, so to speak, giving myself an opportunity to clear my thoughts and to put them down, just to give us like I said, it's a form of therapy in a sense. Plus, shit, everybody like to hear themselves talk, so it's a little bit of that too. Plus, also on top of that, I can say, I made the investment, so why not? Everybody doing it. Everybody seemed to have a, excuse me. Everybody seemed to have a opinion on whatever it is, on whatever topic, whatever they feel like they have a ideal about. Whether it's a dream, a thought, but in this day and age, everybody is putting their 2 cents in. So that's all this is your boy E.Ali from Toledo, Ohio, one of the, offering Toledo, Ohio a podcast. In a sense, we don't have backing like a lot of people do, like the corporate thing, they try to keep us so to speak in a box. So with that being said, because we only got a few newspaper, a few outlets in terms of locally that express a different thought, a different ideal of the world, because there's other shit going on that a lot of times in a town like this that we don't really get too much talked about. Or we don't have discussions and conversations about. Everybody just go about their day and just do their thing, never in pondering on some of the shit that goes around us, or just shit that's going on locally. Because if you've been watching the news or just been in the news and shit, especially around here, this shit like Grand Theft Auto. Police shootings and all that kind of shit, suspects doing crazy shit, because, man, it's been wild as fuck for sure. Definitely with all of a sudden the car chases and shit that's going on around here, But, I'm going to keep my opinion contained, to, so to speak. I definitely understand there's lines and shit like that. And just choose to go up to those lines, but not cross them. You understand? But let's get to it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lift off.
It's E.Ali in the Toledo. E.Ali, E.Ali. E.Ali in the Toledo. E.Ali, E.Ali. We from the ToLedo Ohio. E.Ali in the Toledo. Yo, what it do? Toledo. and the world. This is your boy E.Ali in the ToLe'Do, one of Toledo Ohio's premier podcasts. This is an episode of Thinking Out Loud. This is just your boy putting his 2 cents in of what's going on around this motherfucker, man. Giving an OG perspective with a hip-hop twist, with an ounce of this and a pound of that. You understand? But just one thing we gonna do is keep it 100. You know, understand? But, you know, this is just basically a weekly news, no cap, you know, giving an assessment of what's the shit going on local, regionally, and some of the shit that might go viral. You know what I mean? That's the premise for the most part, just giving a recap of some of the shit that I've seen that goes on that I think that we should possibly be aware of and pay attention of, especially around this motherfucker with nobody really saying nothing. You know what I mean? You got the journal and the truth, you know, limited publications and shit like that really don't push a thought. They really, you know, the journal for the most part, you know, is traditionally just promote, you know, anniversaries of the reverends and, you know, family reunions and shit like that. But to really get to the nitty gritty of what's going on in the city, I think they somewhat don't cover it thoroughly enough, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I've been reading the shit for years and shit, so therefore we didn't always had to turn to other sources and shit. Or just live in this motherfucking bubble as if like don't nobody see what the fuck is going on. But nevertheless, man, if you don't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, share, you know what I mean, leave comments, opinions and shit like that, man, in terms of how your boy can move this shit forward. Nevertheless, you know what I mean, even the motherfuckers that's hating, leave that shit too, because all I'm going to do is double that shit up, man. I ain't tripping about nothing. This is a process. This is a journey. I ain't in no race for shit. You know what I mean? For the most part, I'm self-funded and I do this shit for fun. It's just, for me, it's just a hobby and shit for now. Just, you know, giving myself an opportunity, doing something other than, you know, just creating a different hobby. Trying to create a lane for myself and shit like that. So that's what primarily this is. But hey, man, R.I.P. to the motherfucking Juice OJ. Unfortunately, you know, he passed April 10th, 2024, man. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to definitely give condolences to the family of OJ's and the Simpsons and shit like that, man. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, you know, the way the shit is covered or talked about, because if you pull up, you know, if you pull him up and look at the accolades and his accomplishments and shit, it's undeniable how great he was. But nevertheless, was stained or all that got blemished by, you know, the double murder that took place or he was accused of and was charged but was acquitted. But nevertheless, just to go through that whole thing, you know, I grew up, I was able to see, you know, consciously see the brother, not in his early years, but I seen, you know, OJ play. You know what I'm saying? And then I seen the transition from, you know, a football player into, you know, this Hollywood guy, commercial guy, TV broadcaster guy. You know what I mean? For years, you know, he demonstrated this measure and shit like that. I think I also in the reading, I think he was one of the first brothers who were the corporation, like the foreign ass advertisement and shit like that. I think he was one of the first brothers who broke off into that industry or to that or appealed to white America, where they accept us in certain roles. Because, you know, in America, man, you know, they still have a problem with this brown color, you know, this copper color shit, you know what I'm saying? They still have a problem with that, and you can just tell in terms of how they report on how they demonstrate they measure in terms of how they report on us. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, you know, like I said, R.A.P. to Simpson, OJ, the Juice. You know, because I remember the Juice, man, jumping through the airports, trying to get to that rental car. Hurts. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the biggest commercials ever. Him running through the airport, jumping over Dodge and you know what I mean? And then get to I think he handed the lady some keys or handed the family some keys and shit like that to get to that. Man, it was dope. But that's what I grew up seeing. And also, you know, it was funny because during the time OJ was going through the trial, you know what I mean, it was crazy because it was a, you know, we watched it from beginning, start to finish, man, every day. I was unfortunately, I found myself, or I was incarcerated at the time. So being that I was incarcerated at the time, that's all we did. That was the form of entertainment. You know what I mean? Everybody, you know, our whole demonstration was that there. You know what I mean? To sit there and watch the trial and shit and go through the whole thing. Listen to every piece of evidence, you know what I mean? And we all, in terms of, you know, being incarcerated and shit like that, had always dreamed of seeing or having an attorney or attorneys in terms of seeing what money can buy. You know what I mean? We definitely understood that there's a difference between poor folks and rich folks in terms of the way they get treated with the justice system. And, you know, and we saw that. And I think that was one of the biggest takes of that whole trial and the shit that we saw with OJ was the fact that, you know, here's a black dude, you know, popular, got money, got a bad white girl on his hand and left, you know, just a typical story because you got another story of OJ too, just in terms of slightly in the black community, because if you talk to some of those real strong pro brothers and shit, you know, they would have said he sold us out or he sold out. He was definitely one of those ones because here's you get this brother who had a black family and all that, and then it's like you don't get to the limelight, you don't get to the top of the mountain until you marry this white woman, or to speak, or when you do get to the top of the mountain, you decide to abandon your black family and then go get you a white woman and shit like that. So it was that kind of talk, because I was young and I was hearing that kind of talk, just paying attention and listening to the older folks then, and that's the kind of shit that they was talking about. They was talking about the fact that OJ had sold out. You know what I mean? So here you have this fact that, you know, you got this black man who just sold out, but then now you got a united front of Negroes, even though that we feel as though he was an Uncle Tom and he sold out, because you still have some of them, especially women. You had a lot of women and they would say in our community, be like, that's what that nigga get, fucking with them white women. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck he get. You know, that kind of shit was being said and shit like that. Them the whispers and shit like that. That's the undercover conversation being had in the beauty salons and the barbershops. Was this kind of conversation about the juice? You know what I mean? But here it is. We all have mixed feelings because, you know, because at the end, definitely being in prison, I guess prison in two aspects. Prison, you can definitely see the disparities between white and black, or the justice system in terms of how it treat black folks and how it treat white Europeans. You know what I'm saying? That was the term then, you know, Caucasians and Europeans per se, copper-colored, melanated people. You know, because that's what the brothers, the Melanics, that's what they talk. They was Melanics, meaning, you know, they was black people. You know, they took that name. You know, but then you had the Moors, the Nation of Islam, and shit like that in there. You know, because you know that's where I basically found a different understanding outside of Christianity and shit like that. But basically, understanding or getting into Al-Islam helped me understand Christianity even better. I'm one of them guys, man, where if I'm around Muslim, I'm a Muslim. If I'm around Christian, I'm a Christian. If I'm around Buddhist, I'm a Buddhist. If I'm around Israelites, I'm an Israelite. Whatever religion you talking about, I can adapt to it and get the understanding and get to the core meaning and understanding is one God and seek and understand the interpretation of whatever religion and those prophets and those people who brought forth that message. I can relate to those individuals and see the connection between all of them because they all talking about the same source. Just like and I always say it's one Detroit, but it's many roads to get to Detroit. Like it's one God, but it's many roads that you can take to get to God. You know, because if you get deeply into each one of those religion, and if you truly understand and take the essence of what that religion is teaching, you're gonna find yourself in a holy and a grateful place. For one, if the religion is talking about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, you ain't gonna lose. All of them should be talking about love and truth, peace, freedom, and justice. If they not based on them principles right there, you're going to possibly have a problem anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. Again, that's all this is. This is your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do with the Thinking Out Loud, putting my 2 cents in. It's 8 billion people on the planet, you know what I mean? And this is just my opportunity, a form of therapy to just do that. To give my 2 cents in on just shit that I see, feel, and shit like that, shit to run into, the shit that might run across the TV, shit that might come across a podcast, all kind of shit. There's so much information, motherfuckers don't know what to decipher and what its truth is. But see, the one thing I know about in this area right here, ain't nobody really talking about the shit that goes on around this bitch. So this is my opportunity to do so, just to give everybody a glimpse of some of the shit that goes on around here that don't be talked about. Again, man, R.I.P. to the boy, old man Juice, died at 79, April 10th. Died with a hell of a motherfucking legacy, bro. But the two things that broke OJ, man, is the trial he went through, his ex-wife and Ron Goldman. R.I.P. to those individuals and condolences to those family, the Goldman family and the Brown family. You know what I mean? Not putting not trying to glorify nothing like what happened to those individuals because they lost their life and loved ones, mourn and still feel and feel pain, and some may even on that side feel the joy of seeing the juice gone too. I know it's definitely going to be a legal fight in terms of after some of that money that he left behind. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure possibly it's tied up into a trust or some shit like that, but nevertheless, I'm sure they're going to definitely go after some of that bread. But only talked about some of that shit, man, because like I say, if you look at the accolades and look at the accomplishments and awards and all the shit that the Juice did, man, the OJ did, man, it's impeccable. But my thing is like he's gonna be demonized forever from the media, corporate media and shit like that. They're gonna forever put him in this situation in terms of, you know, because he ended up committing a crime and he got set up in Vegas in terms of trying to go get some of his stuff back. I don't know why he even was tripping and should have seen that was a setup, but nevertheless, he got set up for that. Got 30-some years in one of those prisons and shit in Vegas, or Las Vegas somewhere, but ended up only doing like 9.5 years or some shit like that. But you know, you had that. You know what I mean? For all those years that he was trying to get out and shit like that, but eventually got let loose. Then just the media frenzy and all that shit, you know, behind that. But again, if you look at the accolades and the accomplishments of this brother, man, it's crazy. You know what I mean? He got every football award in terms of running back that you can obtain. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just too crazy. If you just pull him up, do a little pull up and just pull up his stats, man. It's unbelievable the shit he did, man. You know, he one of the greats, but like I said, being that we get demonized in terms of, you know, and it's like at the end of every black man, it seemed like, you know, it seemed like they bring us up, pump us up, you know what I mean? But at the end, we don't leave clean, man. We don't leave with that clean shirt on. You know, so at some point, you know, we get some mud thrown on it. You know what I'm saying? Some dirt get thrown or the dirt get brought up. You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, your boy Puffy taking a beating and shit. You know what I'm saying? But for years, here this man was idolized and propped up to be, but then that's what they do. They give us these entertainers, football players, basketball players, rappers, and movie stars in terms of just saying this is who you should look up to, this is who you should be like. These people got money, man, and so in some aspects we could never be like them because they live a totally different lifestyle than the average Mojo. You know what I mean? Especially a 9 to 5, 8 to 3, you know, bricklayer, cab driver, nurse, parole officer, teacher, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucking maintenance man, shit like that, you know, factory worker. Them the ones I talk for, man. I talk for the motherfucker that's on the bottom of this shit, you know what I'm saying? The average worker and shit, because that's what I do. I work, if anything, I work with my hands for the most part. You know what I mean? That's what my line of work from. You know, sponsored by Toledo Public Schools. They limited me to a certain aspect of schooling. They didn't broaden my horizons. They basically had corporate education to basically, you know, because in basically growing up in this motherfucker, the highlight or the big job, even going to school, was always just to work at Jeep. Think about that. In Toledo, your biggest accomplishment, other than selling some dope, trying to be like Gary Hill or somebody, Keith Cook, Ralph Warren or one of them, or the Fryson boys, you know what I mean? You know, because growing up then, you wanted to be like them. But outside of that was the motherfucking Jeep. You know, you had aspirations and dreams to make it to the NFL or to the league or to the NBA, but none of those guys really, them guys didn't come around. You didn't see those guys. The only guy that you possibly could see or touch was Truman. You know what I mean? You heard about his greatness and shit like that. You know what I mean? But he was in this motherfucker. He was still trying to figure this shit out. You know what I mean? Another brother you had close, you know, and I guess in my era, the scene that it was possible, we had Jim Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But Jim Jackson was in the dream and hopes and the aspiration that Jim Jackson offered was clouded by a motherfucker making $500 a day, $200-$300 a day off the block. Getting a double up, getting you a motherfucker 8-ball and doubling that motherfucker up 2-3 times in a day. All day long around this motherfucker. So it was hard to see that. You know what I mean? See that you can do that. You know what I'm saying? And even with that being said, Jim was sheltered and was trying to get to that. He couldn't really come back and communicate to the young brothers that this was the place of destiny and stick to your thing and all that, because he was still trying to accomplish his and get there where he was trying to get to. Trying to get to his greatness. Then he came back and gave some businesses and shit like that to the community and shit like that, and motherfuckers didn't even support him. So it's crazy how the city, man, in terms of Toledo, how we move around this motherfucker and shit like that. It bogs me in terms of just trying to figure out in terms of supporting one another, in terms of how do we get ourselves out this situation that we in. Because we at the bottom of this motherfucker, around this motherfucker, man. You can go on each side of town, the South End, even the Latino brothers, the Mexican brothers over there, you know, they got their thing popping. They got businesses, stores and shit, storefronts and shit. You go down Junction and Durham, shit like that, man, our shit look shady. Nebraska, it don't show nothing. We don't have an area of control that we controlling, and I mean, you know, we got the Urban Credit Union. That's the place that we got to start and got to grow that idea from there. Use that banking institution as a place to move our money and connect, to grow our money, to invest in our neighborhood, to prop it up. Then we have to get serious in terms of going into the community and look at those individuals who don't look like us, who benefiting off us. It has to be a contract in terms of this business agreement that's being had, and ain't nobody establishing none of that with none of these individuals that's coming into our community. And I noticed just in some aspect, and not trying to be prejudiced and not trying to sound biased or nothing like that. First, the Arab brothers was running shit. Now I'm starting to see the Indian brothers starting to move in some spots, beauty supply stores and gas stations and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see a different immigrant group come in our community and control the economics of our community. When them stores and them storefronts, other than the motherfucking barbershop, funeral homes, beauty salons and shit like that. Like I say, man, this is one thing that I always say, we got to get right with our money. We got to be about our business. We got to stand on business. If they look like you need to first spend your money, especially with beauty supply store. You can go over there on Nebraska, man, over there, Powell's Beauty Supply Store, man, and get your products. We can just do that for 1 year. If everybody went over there, every sister that went over there that needed beauty supply store, beauty products, hairs or whatever, if they went over there for 1 year, all it would take is just 1 year. Everybody direct their income, they exchange, they money exchange, foreign as trying to get product. In 1 year, man, you'll change that whole landscape of that whole situation. And that's what I'm saying. All we have to do is establish who doing what business-wise, black. Hold them to a certain standard. Get them that money for that 1 year. Watch them blow. And each year, just look at each year, somebody stick their head out saying they doing something. We go there and support them. Each year we make millionaires. We can make millionaires amongst ourselves, bro. All it takes is a different switch of a mindset to just want to see somebody like yourself do something and put the standard and the pressure of this what it is and this is how you need to be. This is what I accept, or this is what I expect. This is what I'm paying for, and I don't accept nothing less. And brothers who standing on business, satisfy that agreement with those individuals, it's good business. We all win. You get a service. I get to provide a service that you need, and we all win. We come up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, it's been the wild, wild motherfucking West. This your boy E.Ali in the ToLe'Do, man. Thinking out loud, just putting my motherfucking 2 cents in on some shit. You know, giving my opinion on shit that I see. You know, from an OG perspective, putting a pound and an ounce of thought on a whole lot of shit, bro, that goes on. I put it on the, man, I put my life on the scale, man. I lost my hoop dreams and shit on a triple beam. You know what I'm saying? So I got a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? For me, this is what it is for me. I'm a grandfather now, so I move in a totally different light. I think about the babies first, man. You know what I mean? And being that I've been so close with my grandson for the last 10 years and shit, trying to help this young man become a man, you know what I'm saying, and see him grow, I got definitely a different respect and a new respect for motherhood, man. black women is the baddest motherfuckers on the planet, man. A black woman. I guarantee you, we can't do nothing without them, man. We just got to change their mindset now. But for one, all brothers need to pay homage to their mama, to their sister, to their cousin. Give respect, man. You know what I mean? R.I.P. to my cousin Angel, man. She passed away a couple of days ago. McCurran, hey, Miss Rose, cousin Rose, hey, my condolences to the McCurran side. That's the Elmore side of the other side of the family and shit. My condolences to y'all. My cousin Rose lost her daughter Angel. Condolences to them. Hey, you know, if y'all need something, man, get at your boy. But this your boy E.Ali in the ToLe'Do. You know what I'm saying, man? And so, with that being said, man, just give a little pause for my cuz. R.I.P. to cousin Angel. Yo, man, R.I.P. also to Juice. Condolences to the Simpson family. Condolences to the McCurran family of Angel, Miss Rose, and my cousin Rose and them. Like I say, man, it's been crazy around here for the most part. Toledo police, man, the other day, and I gotta make a comment on it, man. I seen some shit that went down. I read it, and by reading it, it was it didn't come off right to me, man. You know what I mean? So, and it was basically the situation. The other day, Toledo police shot a suspect or shot a woman who apparently, I guess, it was a domestic dispute between her mother and her. So it was kids in the house. You know, this happened over there on Vance, but Toledo police shot a barcade woman who allegedly approached her kids with a knife. You know, who allegedly, you know, that's what they saying. Because with a suspect having a knife and having her kids, it to me just, I would have thought it would have been a little bit more trying to talk her down. For one, I would like to know how long did it take from the time y'all showed up to her getting shot twice. Cause her just cutting her mama on the face, probably talking to the mom with her in the house with the kids. To me, it should have been a little bit more negotiation, just in my opinion. You know, but being that you copper color, I want to even see if she had dreadlocks, because if she had dreads, they definitely was going to shoot her. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be walking around this motherfucker dreaded, looking like one of the Anunnakis, you know. Cause to me, man, just in my opinion, man, white folks is getting scared to see all of us walk around this motherfucking natural hair with the dreadlocks and shit. Now, I'm sure that's becoming intimidating on top of that black skin. Plus, I can see that they probably wondering what the fuck is going on. Is all these motherfuckers having a secret meeting with this natural hair shit going on? You know, what the fuck, what kind of kumbaya is this shit going on? Just my opinion. Again, man, this is 8 million people on the planet. This is your boy E.Ali in the ToLe'Do, offering his 2 cents in, being that it's 8 billion people. This is thinking out loud. This is this is a form of therapy for your boy, just to be able to get his thoughts out and just talk, you know, because for the most part, you talking to yourself, hoping that somebody listening and shit, for the most part, and having and sharing in your thoughts. That's all it is for the most part when you initially start. You just talking to yourself, because ain't nobody really listening. In most cases, don't nobody give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They got their own shit going on and shit like that. So whatever the shit you talking about, it got to be impelling. You got to be able to move the needle You know, give somebody some thought and be like, Then you know you got those who listen and just in every aspect taking a peek at those individuals who not corporate sponsor, seeing what the fuck they talked about, hopefully that they ain't stepping out of line. But yeah, I just was reading the thing, man, when the police said they responded to offers trying to talk to the woman with the knife through the front door, but heard her barricading it. Toledo police got the door open slightly, saw that she's still holding a knife, and the door was closed. When officers heard children screaming, they tried to force their way into the house. As officers pushed the door open, the woman allegedly tried to stab one of the officers. Another officer fired one shot and closed the door again, and the door closed again. Toledo police crew broke the window out and tried to deploy a taser, but it didn't work. But said that when the children ran to the back of the house, that the suspect followed. Police were able to get inside the house and found the suspect and the children were in the attic in the attic of the house. Authorities tried to negotiate with the woman, but it didn't work. They tried to negotiate. It said they tried to negotiate, but it didn't work. Now she done ran in the attic. These are her kids. She done ran in the attic, and she didn't touch them. And then how long did it didn't work? I gotta ask what effort did you put in? Did somebody get frustrated or something like that? Because Toledo authorities tried to negotiate with the woman, but it didn't work. What you mean? SWAT team opened the attic door enough to see all three children's age 10, 6, and 2 years old. 2 years old now. This her mama. So y'all gotta weigh this out, man. She ain't touched them. Y'all can still talk and negotiate a little bit, right? She ain't touched them or harmed them. You got a 2-year-old, 10-year-old, and this woman got her kids with a knife. Everybody's scared. Y'all got guns and shit. So y'all shouldn't be scared. Y'all should wait on her. Y'all should do a little bit more talking, because as long as she don't touch them kids with that knife, you don't supposed to shoot. You supposed to sit there and let her see that the threat that she facing, like, yo, you see us over here with this motherfucker, right? Then if you standing there right there at that point and you can see slightly open, right? Shoot the taser. Shoot her with a taser. But nevertheless, that's when the police say that's when police say the suspect started walking towards the kids with the knife, and SWAT officers shot her. She fell on the ground but got back up and continued going towards the children with the knife, and police shot her a second time. That don't sound right, man. Toledo police got the children out and provided medical care to the woman. She was taken to the area hospital for treatment. Police didn't disclose her current conditions. The news release did not identify the woman with the knife and say whether any charges are expected. Police initially told 13 Action News an officer was also shot at the scene, then later updated their statement to say that the officer was not shot but hurt in the incident. The news release did not mention any injured officer. The officers was fired shot will be on paid administrative leave per policy. This is the second shooting. This is the second police shooting in as many days. Toledo police say any officer shot. Toledo police say an officer shot a man who pointed a BB gun at police while serving a robbery warrant on April 16th. Toledo police is expected to release additional information and footage in the near future as investigation continue. Yeah, I want to see that footage of that situation with that sister, man, on Vance. Yeah, we want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't understand how you up there negotiating with this sister with them kids in her, and then y'all say it didn't work. That ain't gonna cut with the public, and then that's what I'm saying, man. It's just your boy E.Ali. I ain't trying to hold him to the fire. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna expect me saying shit anyway about what they conduct and how they do it. You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck, how that look? But nevertheless, we all can see and smell and see that ain't, if you read, and if you read between the lines, how even the news is allegedly saying alleged and saying how they backtrack some of the statements that come off Toledo 11 news website right there. You know what I mean? That reading I just did or whatever. But, that's what we face with, man. We got to be careful around here. Plus, you got to know how to conduct yourself around police. You got to get them the utmost respect in terms of when they pull you over. Don't be tripping. Don't be fidgety. Don't be reaching for shit. Keep your hands at sight. Yes, sir, no, sir shit. You know what I mean? Give them the upper hand. I give it to them. I automatically give it to them. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to be disrespectful, loud, all aggressive and talk. Yes, sir, no, sir. I act like, man, what the fuck you bothering me for, bro? Like, what's going on, sir? How can I help you? Ain't nothing going on around this motherfucker here. I know how to behave. I'm a good nigga. Yeah, I learned my lesson a long time ago. You understand? I don't want to be caged up in one of them motherfucking boxes, one of them funky ass cages, man. I get legit money. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing nothing sideline worth shit, trying to do nothing crooked, none of that, bro. Cause for me, I'm living like I'm talking to my grandsons and my grandkids. I'm living like how you supposed to live, man. Cause I want them to live right. Get your ass up, provide for yourself. And I tell them all the time, if you're gonna work for somebody, at least be inspired to be the supervisor. At least inspired to be the manager of the motherfucker. Don't go in there just as a poop-butt laborer and shit like that. At least have the mind to go in that motherfucker, be the one telling other people what to do. If you're gonna work for somebody. That's what I learned. Be a motherfucking shit. Be good with numbers. You good with numbers and good with communication and good with writing and shit. You ain't gonna be doing too much labor, man. And you ain't gonna be doing no back-breaking work and shit like that. Work full of dust and dusty and shit. You ain't gonna do that kind of work. You understand? But this is your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do, man. Thinking Out Loud, another edition of that Thinking Out Loud therapy, self-medicating myself, man, putting myself on the airways. Like I say, at this point, ain't nobody talking, so you basically talking to your motherfucking self until this shit pick up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, and you got to understand that, and I'm all right with that journey. So I'm going to keep my effort and keep my motherfucking foot to the pedal every motherfucking Thursday and shit. I'm going to try to get my motherfucking self together, be able to present some motherfucking material or thought that I had and shit like that. You know what I mean? And move forward. So the thought of the day, man, be kind. Move with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, man, and I guarantee you everything will be okay. This your boy, this your big homie E.Ali and the ToLe'Do, a.k.a. Mudbone, the city marshal of Toledo, Ohio, one of the premier podcasters of the city. Also, man, tune in Saturday. Well, we film Saturday, man, and normally try to release on Sunday night or Monday morning. Me and Miss Elena Wilson, The Bottom of the Glass. That's her show, man. And also, man, last week or a couple weeks ago, we filmed the show. I like to say, if y'all seen it, if you go get on there, we got to arguing about a little shit, man. Some of that was my fault. A little drinking got up under me a little bit, got a little heated and shit, because definitely I raised daughters, and I always raise my daughters, man, to be careful about certain shit and don't try to be victims. You want to raise your daughters that don't put themselves to be in a situation to be victims or to be victimized and shit. So that's what that was, that heart or that compassion behind that. I don't never condone nobody doing nothing to no woman. It ain't no excuse why a man should treat a woman a certain way and all that. But just me personally as a man, if a woman got all her body hanging out and shit like that, it's an advertisement to me And it don't, I ain't gonna attack her or jump her bone, but it does encourage me to say, hey, how you doing, sister? How you looking? Real nice. I like what I see. It do encourage that. So, and for me, in most cases, I see women dressed like that because it seemed like that's what they trying to do, encourage a response. Now you got guys that go over the fucking board. You got guys that's fucking creeps. You know what I mean? And I understand that, and I don't condone that in no way, nor is it no excuse. But for a woman to think that a man not gonna say something to her by the way she dressed, I'm sadly mistaken. You sadly mistaken. Does it make a man right to the brother, you gotta conduct yourself. You should know how to respect a woman, even if she dressing like that. It's still a way you can still let yourself be known that you interested without the disrespect. Now, if you getting disrespected because this woman don't want to talk to you and you get your ego and you put your hand, you a buster, nigga. You a sucker. And every real man know that you a sucker. I'm going to knock a woman off my conversation, the way I look, the way in my presentation. I got enough confidence in that. I done did it before. I've been successful at it. I don't have a problem. And then I done been persistent in letting the sister know lightly and politely letting her know I'm interested in her after she told me no, and still do little shit to let, yo, what's up? You know, not at this time. Well, listen here, you know, if it ever, if she can come at a way where it's a definitely no, and when I see that it's a definitely ain't no way, no possible, I don't harass her no more. I don't say shit to her. I let her go about her way. But if she give me a few little signs like, no, not at this time, I'm okay, not at this time. Okay, baby, whenever it's a time, it's the right time. I know, and then I just me knowing it's a right time. You got to be at the right place at the right time with the right game, with the right look. That's what men don't understand. Today's men, it's about the right time. It's a certain time you gotta have. Then you gotta let yourself be known. In some cases, you gotta be a player. If you see a chick, you should not try to get her the first time. Some of that shit, man, you gotta let that shit marinate her. Let her see you off in the cut somewhere a couple times at a couple spots, and she see you a couple times and seeing like, oh, okay, I like how that nigga move and shit. Then on the third, fourth time you see her out, then you approach her and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't just be no, I ain't never been no hound kind of dude, so I don't relate and understand that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what be my problem. I ain't never been that kind of dude. Hounding a chick. Definitely when I see a sister, man, with her kids and shit, hey, how you doing? I ain't about to be sitting up there trying to hey, what's up, baby? How you doing in front of your kids? And yeah, what's up with you and shit? You got a man? And no, I ain't doing that. Nope. I'll catch her later. You know what I'm saying? That's how I roll. So half of the time I lose an opportunity because I ain't aggressive enough. It seemed to me how these niggas is so thirsty, I ain't aggressive enough. You know, I got class. I got plus for me, man, just being an older dude, man, I come to learn this one thing, fam. I like who like me. And with that being said, if you like this shit, you love what the fuck I talk about and how I talk, man, put some comments to this shit, man, so I can make this shit roll. And if you like this shit, man, subscribe, like, hit the like button, share, give an opinion. Get some hate if you don't like it, shit. Tell me that too. Tell me what the fuck you don't like, so I can switch it up for you, baby. So I can sprinkle you with a little something. But this your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do, man. Thinking out loud. Peace.
Is what you tend to talk about it right about. That's called looking at the world from my eyes. You feel me? This whether you black, white, Hispanic, long as you know how to use the struggle. Bail my ass in this. Take these lyrics and smoke up these words if you feel profit. I woke up this morning. I gotta thank God for living, cause most of my homies in prison are trapped up in the drug dealing. In the ghetto we learn to struggle and strive, it's hard to survive, looking at the world from my eyes. Daddy wasn't around, so let him be man from the streets. Babies are born addicted to rocks, my block shows no peace. And a nigga don't eat if a nigga don't hustle, accept the pain with a straight face if it always down from the struggle. When you down and out and sees nobody by your side, you tryna survive but inside you ready to die. Try not to cry at the funeral as I honor the dead. I point out liquor for Omar, Quincy and Fred, and every brother closer to death. We born just to die, my biggest hurt since birth is watching my best friend testify. I lost faith, I know I'm real from the fake, and every dance a change of me. Being what the money makes when it's kids in the ghetto without a decent place to sleep, and they cutting out welfare females so that they body just to eat. When I know it's wrong to kill, but I'd rather ride than die. It's hard to survive looking at the world from my eyes.
Looking at the world from my eyes, living in a ghetto, it's hard to survive. Looking at the world from my eyes, living in a ghetto, it's hard to survive.
In my eyes was a plan to see me hate and despise, waiting